We're here at the Regal Transit, where we just saw Joker. And we're in a lot, because we are a lot of critics. I'm going to tell you right now that I loved this movie. I loved it.
Yeah.
I really loved it, and it was interesting to love a movie so dark.
Yeah.
But it filled me with a joyous sadness, a happy sorrow.
So you could say this movie put a happy face on for you.
It did.
I'd agree. I thought this movie was incredible in varying degrees, and its uniqueness is just awesome. In a world where we can get bored by the usual Marvel nonsense, DC comes full on dark, hard, and rated R. Yeah, very R. Very, very R. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like speechless trying to digest how unique and incredible this movie is, but feeling bad about praising such a dark, very dark movie. I can't say enough how dark and grisly this movie is.
A film like this, if it didn't have a comic book attached to it, I feel like would be critically beloved. I think they'd be swooning over it. I think it would be something that everybody's just like, oh, this is a new cinematic masterpiece. But because it's connected to comic books, and because comic books have a stigma attached to them, I think there's a certain critical point of view that that's not legitimate. You can enjoy this film if you know nothing about the Joker. If you know nothing about comic books, if you just crawled out from under a rock and you went to go see this movie and you had no knowledge of pop culture for the last 100 years, you would see a movie about a broken man and his downward spiral. And it works. It still completely works. And then when you put the Joker spin on top of it, it just gives it that much more depth if you do enjoy those things.
Yeah. Taking it for what it is in terms of almost, Oscar hype right now with Joaquin Phoenix's, amazing performance and all of that, I'd say critics are wrong in the sense that if you go and see this movie for its cinematic value, it's beautiful. It's incredible. It's art. It's art. It really is.
I just want to add that it was gorgeous. Like, beautiful, ugly, disgusting shots of a decaying city that was falling apart, literally filled with garbage, actual mountains of garbage, rats, just buildings falling down. It's a different Gotham than we're used to seeing because the character was just decay. I can't wait to see what Todd Phillips moves on to from here because I want to see him keep going in this direction. Like, comedy's fine, but more drama, more just serious stuff because he can do it. He can absolutely tackle subjects like this.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who are at the top of their game and doing an incredible job, Joaquin Phoenix completely, absolutely nailed it. Just knocked it out of the park. Portrayed a character like so deeply that it was affecting. And you were there with him on this journey, and like every terrible thing that happened, you felt it.
Yeah.
He pulls you with him down.
Everything you're hearing about the performance, it is as it is. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's incredible. The supporting cast is great as well, but you're really going to see this because of the name Joker and Joaquin Phoenix and what they do together. Him as the Joker. One of the things I'd touch on after acting and directing is the sound with this movie was amazing. It was just a nice complimentary violin or a nice complimentary like lower tone or a heavy beat during a scene or some great soundtrack hits that were just added to this. And if you've seen the trailers, you got like the Sinatra, the crooner kind of like mix into it, and it fits. It fits with the era that it portrays. Yep. And it fits with the style of this film, and it adds like the satire to it and this nostalgia where you're watching a biopic on Joker.
So, I know the answer to this already, but would you recommend this movie to people? Would you recommend that people go see Joker, and if so, who?
Yeah, I'd recommend it to a lot of people. Anybody interested in seeing what the next big hit is going to be for the Oscars this year, get a head start. This is going to be, it should be on the list. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, I'd say. It's dark, it's depressing. It is what you see in the trailers. It is what many critics and reviewers are talking about. So if you don't want to get bogged down by some, very heavy weighted story with dark material to it, pass on it. If you're looking for, the next great thing in just movies, I mean, something that's so offbeat, something that's a change of pace, not rooting for the bad guy, but just watching the bad guy through his journey. It's amazing. Scorsese fans, check it out, because it's got his handwork all over it. Todd Phillips fans, check out something that's not The Hangover or anything else he's done.
I would definitely say you need to be the right type of person to approach this and enjoy it, because it's not for everybody. It's very dark. It's very violent. It's depressing. Well, it's not really like a feel bad movie. Like, I've seen movies that when you leave, you just feel bad. I feel great. Like, I loved it. I was smiling. I think the genius of this movie is that it makes you enjoy every terrible thing that happens and every terrible thing he does. The worse it gets, the more you're like loving it. And then you kind of have to look at yourself and be like, why am I enjoying this so much? But that's it. That's the Joker. That's the twist. That's the paradox. That's everything. Yeah. If you think you can handle that, and if you're interested in an experience like that, something different from the usual popcorn flicks, definitely check it out. It's not what these other Marvel movies are. It's not even like anything. It's not like anything that, like, Logan is the closest thing I can say. Yeah. If you liked Logan and you liked what that did, I think you'd love this. Yeah. So, if you haven't seen it, go see it. If you have seen it, stick around, because we're going to get into the spoiler zone. One of the first things I want to bring up is Batman. We came prepared. We knew he'd show up. He's there. Yeah. He's not just there. He's born. You can see him in the previews. Yep. You see a little Bruce Wayne, who you don't know is Bruce Wayne, but you're kind of like, it's Bruce Wayne. Yeah. But it's straight up, and I don't know if this has ever been done before, where the Joker caused Batman to exist. It's always been the other way around. And one of my main complaints, I don't know if you remember this, about when this movie came out, I was like, this is dumb. You can't do this, because you can't have the Joker without Batman. Because, exactly. Yep. And like, Batman creates Joker. That's how it works. You can't have him in a movie without that. Well, you can. And they did. Yeah. And they did it in the exact flip around way that makes perfect sense, isn't insulting to any of the origins. It works. Oh, God, no.
Yeah, I mean, comic book fans and everything, like, this would make a great graphic novel. I mean, we talk about the story, what an interesting character and an interesting way to portray the Joker in all that he does and the twists that they have. Like, oh, Thomas Wayne is my father. Not. Your mom's just as crazy as you are. And I think that, wow, for a while, like, the movie, it wasn't necessarily dragging, but I was waiting for a plot twist or a plot point to, like, jumpstart the movie. And the second you find out that it's not just Arthur Fleck, but his adopted mom, who is insane as well, the movie takes off. Yeah. Takes off all the more. And it's like, he's like, all right, I'm good with what I am, because I was raised this way. I was meant to be this way. And it's that point where I think in the previews you even see it, where it's like he has this purpose and he's dancing down the stairs. And it's like such an amazing contrast to the slouchy walk up that he has. Oh, amazing. Yep. Absolutely amazing.
The use of him hallucinating, where you think you're being shown something that's really happening. And then at a certain point you realize, oh, this is not happening. This is from his perspective. Yeah. he's crazy and he's delusional. And one of my nitpicks was when he gets the girl and when he goes for her and then she's swooning over him. I was like, this doesn't really make any sense. This is really odd. It's so out of character for that. She's like happy that he was stalking her and she's like, oh, that's really hot. You know, I'll come see your show and then you just come over to my apartment and we're boyfriend and girlfriend now. I'll be by your side. Yeah. Well, they... Nope. And then that's one of those moments that you're like, oh, no.
And again, that's when this movie just launches. And the rest of the movie, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is getting better and better and better. And bonkers and bonkers and bonkers. Yeah. It was Joker. It was just Joker became Joker.
Yeah. It took 90% of the movie for him to get to that point where he was like the comic book version. But when he got there, I was like, you did it. You really did it. Like, it's perfect. Like his movements, his gestures, the way he spoke. Yeah. I was like, you did it.
Yeah.
One tiny nitpick is, again, the Batman thing. When the movie was ending and they showed Zorro, I was like, we're doing it. We're doing Batman Origin. Then they showed the Waynes leaving, and I was like, there it is. Then they showed Crime Alley, and I'm like, yep, I got it. And they showed the Thug, and I was like, there he is. He's going to kill. Okay, it's fine. And then they showed another shot above, and I was like, are we really doing the whole thing? And then they did the whole thing. And that was my one criticism, because up until that point, I was like, Todd Phillips, you mad genius. What have you created? This is incredible. And I was like, oh, Todd, no. Stop. No, it's perfect. Now it's 99%. Now it's 98%. Okay, it's still good. It's fine. Small nitpick, but it's like everything else was so subtle and there was so much left up to like, wait, what happened? What happened at the end? How much did we jump into the future? Like, what is this? A lot of restraint in this movie. Mm-hmm. A lot of leaving it up to you, except for that one part.
Yeah.
So, yeah. As always, thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. We really love doing these videos. We got a microphone now, so hopefully it sounds a little bit better. There's a ton of great movies coming out this season. Like, I think we're both really excited about everything, so we'll have more videos soon. Please check them out. Like, subscribe, all that. And we'll see you again on A Lot of Critics.